Hi there. Are you one of those who are always skeptical about joining saving groups? Well, I hope you learn a thing or two from this video. Enjoy.
OPC 360 channel.
So today I'm going to talk about saving groups generally. And for those who have at one point maybe thought of joining a group, but you felt held back by perhaps fears or not enough knowledge about how those groups work. Well, I'm going to share a bit of information that would be helpful and would support your decision making in terms of whether to join a group or not. I'm also going to talk about conflict in groups. I know conflict has always been a big factor in discouraging membership of groups. Sometimes, being in a group may be perceived as perhaps bothersome, or it could be that you are an introvert and prefer, to be on your own. However, there are advantages that I hope we can learn from today. So first thing is by joining a group, one can always get access to large amounts of pool resources than they would if they saved on their own. And this you'll realize that as each and every member of the group puts together their savings, then within a very short time you are able to put together quite some substantial resources that then you could use for whatever goal that you have as a group. Being in a group also, can protect you from unwanted financial demands from friends and family. I mean, we all know those demands that come from family, and every now and then you have to send something small, especially in an African setup. Then you can expect to be asked to chip in one way or another. And especially in rural areas where there are many intense family and social pressures to, share all resources. So being in a group helps you, secure your funds, and also just keeps you away from the temptation to, send something even when you really need to prioritize your goals. It also provides a more secure environment for people to keep their money, especially when people don't have any easy access to banks and financial institutions. And this is true for those in the rural areas. So being part of a group where it's very organized and you have a treasurer and the office bearer, so in a way, then you can rest easy, other than if you kept your money on your own, and then there would be fear of it being stolen, or you even misusing it. That is always a risk. Evidence also shows that groups with active saving programs are more likely to achieve their goals independently without relying on external support. And this is because they are able to mobilize their own resources and therefore invest in activities which they can handle by themselves. It also promotes socialization and integration into the society. Imagine you just move into a new area, and you do not know anyone, but luckily there is some kind of social grouping, and they are interested in coming together and putting some little resources together. Then if you are able to join that, it really helps you to quickly integrate and make friends even. Joining a group also helps members meet personal financial goals, and then you are able to become stronger and independent over time. And so, what I really wanted to highlight for those of you thinking about joining groups are the stages through which a group goes. And one of these is when the group is still forming, and you have the people getting to know each other, and people establishing the ground rules. um, Members are always treated as strangers. But what is important to note is that well-functioning saving groups do not just form out of the blue. It takes for a group to develop to a point where it can be effective and where all members feel connected to it quite some time. And it's important to anticipate this even as you think about joining a group. It's important that you understand these steps because this can help determine what is happening within a group and how to manage that. And it also kind of manages your expectation as to what will happen when you are part of a group. So the 4 group developmental stages are known as forming, storming, norming, and performing. We'll talk about a lot of details in the next section. So when it comes to forming, this is the first step when the group is still coming together. It's the initial stage when the group comes together and members begin to develop their relationship with one another and learn what is expected of them. The group is said to have matured once the members start savings and they are able to draw up a constitution to guide their activities and to determine roles. And leaders are also elected who take up tasks that are clearly defined. And also a key step in this stage is for the group to get registered and earn a certificate, especially because this will be required when you now want to formalize your group, or you maybe want to open a bank account for the group for the security of savings. Normally the banks will want to see your group registration certificate, which is done through the Ministry of Social Welfare. So something else you need to think about is when the group moves into the storming stage, conflicts arise and differences of opinion about the group and its goals will surface. If a group is clearly unable to state its purposes and goals, or it cannot agree on shared goals, the group may collapse at this point. It is important to work through the conflict at this time and to establish clear goals. It is necessary for there to be discussion so that everyone feels heard and can come to an agreement on the direction the group is to move in. So during this stage, it's important to be ethical and open to other people's ideas, allow differences of opinion to be discussed, handle conflict directly and civilly, avoid personal attacks, examine biases that may be blocking progress. A group is said to have matured through this process if the meetings become consistent and they are able to identify, a sustainable meeting place where they can come to regularly. There has been some reconstitution of membership, because at this stage you have been able to know, the members for a bit of time and are able to determine who are the members who perhaps are keen on moving on, or who are those members that might want to drop out at this point. So consistent saving by members also helps in this regard. Also to think about is that willingness to co-guarantee each other. The purpose of coming together in the group is really to allow the other members to act as co-guarantors in a way that if a member feels that they need the support and endorsement of the other members to perhaps access some capital or loans, then the other members are willing to co-guarantee them. And this only happens when the trust has been built and members feel that they know each other well. The next stage, once the group has resolved its conflicts, it can now establish patterns of how to get the work done. Expectations of one another are clearly articulated and accepted by members of the group. Formal and informal procedures are established in delegating tasks. Members of the group come to understand how the group as a whole operates, and the group is said to have matured through this process when the group has come up with a viable business proposal. The group engages in some form of income generation where all members perhaps take turns to support that initiative. And the group also is able to facilitate informal financial services to her members. This is also important and is an indicator of a group that is maturing. It is also expected that at this point the group perhaps has also adjusted its mission and is now looking at sustaining whatever activities they have. And this leads us to the fourth step, where the group is now said to be performing. During this final stage of development, issues related to roles, expectations, and norms are no longer of major importance. The group is now focused on its tasks, working intentionally and effectively to complete its goals. And the group will find it can celebrate its accomplishments, and that members will be learning new skills and sharing roles when a group enters the performing stage. Lastly, it's important to remember that when conflict arises in the group, do not try to silence it or run from it. Let the conflict come out into the open so people can discuss it. If the conflict is kept under wrap, members will not be able to build trusting relationships, and this could harm the group's effectiveness. If handled properly, however, the group will come out of the conflict with a stronger sense of cohesiveness than before. It will be able to celebrate accomplishments and find renewal in relationships. So encourage members also to learn new skills and to share roles so that things are kept fresh and exciting always in the group. So thank you for following through. Lastly, hey, so feel free to subscribe if you like this video, and see you next time. Bye bye.